Inspired by the life of Ragnar Lothbrok, Vikings is the hugely successful show that ran for 6 seasons on the History Channel. Shot almost entirely in Ireland, the show broadly follows the exploits of the legendary Viking chieftain, his crew, family and descendants. It is gripping TV with incredible characters, fights, raids, costumes and all set in early medieval Scandinavia. Now, Vikings may have already ended, but a sequel series called Vikings Valhalla is in development for Nextflicks. That show will be set 100 years after the events of Vikings, but it looks like we will have to wait until next year for its release. So until then, we've put together 9 great shows that fans of Vikings should love. If it's historical action and battle scenes you want, then these should really do the trick. Set in 15th century Korea, the country is in freefall. The king is dying, the crown prince is trying to survive, the ministers want to take the throne, and a zombie plague is running ravage through the country. If Crouching Tiger, Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead had a baby, it would be Kingdom. At first glance, a South Korean zombie show may not look to have much in common with Vikings. However, this huge budget show is a must watch if you love big battle scenes, political rivalries and a fight for the royal throne.
그 일을 방해하는 자들 모두 죽일 것이다.
The Last Czars tells the tragic true story of the Romanov dynasty, the wealthy royal family who ruled over Russia for more than 3 centuries. The Netflix original docudrama chronicles the downfall of Tsar Nicholas II from his coronation in 1896 to his death in 1918. The story of the Romanovs is extraordinary. From tragic personal loss and world-shattering political upheaval to sex scandals and assassination, it has it all.
To continue the dynasty and expand the empire.
We are at war.
Nicholas lays the foundations of his own demise.
The war is not going well, and the home front is even worse.
Your son is seriously ill.
What they needed was a miracle.
So, you are Grigory Rasputin.
A slight change of pace with this one, even though it is a show about Vikings and takes place in the same time period in Norway. It is more of a comedy or spoof show. It's essentially Vikings but funny, so expect plenty of dark humour and some great action scenes. And if you prefer to watch the show in English, then you are in for a treat. The cast actually filmed every scene twice, once in Norwegian and again in English, so no dubbing or subtitles needed.
Remember, nothing's sexier than self-confidence.
Don't look at me, it's your husband.
You can't walk around with horns on your helmet. It looks ridiculous.
Fashion is about taking chances, daring to be bold. The helmet is a basic head cover, but when you add some other material, it becomes something else. It's no longer just a helmet. It is something bigger, it tells a story, and that is what fashion is all about.
Another historical drama, this time set in the late 1700s in North America. With 3 seasons now available, Jason Momoa stars as Declan Harp, a part Irish, part Cree outlaw. He is campaigning to stop the monopoly on the fur trade in Canada, but given the time it is set in, that involves more than some diplomatic talks. With a great cast, locations, costumes and a nasty conflict on the colonial frontier, this show is definitely worth getting into.
You're going to keep this from me. I want 2 things. Total domination. And Declan Harp.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to run on home, and I want you to tell him. You tell him I'm here.
With 4 seasons to binge on, Black Sails is set in the early 1700s. It was created as a prequel to the iconic novel Treasure Island, and so takes place roughly 2 decades before those events. Starring Toby Stephens as Captain James Flint, this is a show all about pirates, their fight for survival, and their search for treasure. This is very much another period action drama with brilliant plots, costumes, and storylines to keep you hooked.
To rule Nassau, you must know her. And you don't.
I'm through seeking anything from England, except her departure from my island. in the eye of a reckoning. Everyone is a sheep.
You insist on making me your villain.
But I've become the lion's mouth.
I'll play the part.
So settle in my
It's World War II, but not as you know it. Rather than the usual take on historic events, The Man in the High Castle is an alternate history show. It's a parallel world, so the Allies didn't win the war, and in fact Nazi Germany and Japan ruled the world after their victory. The two countries have taken over America and divided it up between them. However, newsreels and home movies appear and show that Germany and Japan actually lost the war, and so the rebellion begins.
Smuggling subversive films.
That film shows the world not as it could be, but as it is.
It has to be about something more. I need answers.
They're scared. Scared this film could bring this whole thing tumbling down.
A film that shows another world, so what?
So it means that maybe the world can change.
One of the single best TV shows made in recent years, Peaky Blinders stars Cillian Murphy as Thomas Shelby, the head of a gangster crime family living in Birmingham in 1919. It is an epic story set just after World War I and is steeped in violent ambition, power and greed. It has it all: high production value, unforgettable characters, and 7 seasons of pure Thomas Shelby goodness to get lost in. Originally a BBC drama, The Last Kingdom is available on Nextflicks. It is set in 866 when England is divided into 7 kingdoms. But as the Viking Danes raid the country and plunder their way through most of it, only one kingdom remains. The show focuses on Uhtred, born the son of a Saxon nobleman. However, he is captured by the Danes and raises one of their own. And as the story unfolds, he is forced to choose between the country of his birth and the people of his upbringing. His loyalties are ever tested.
If my brother falls in battle, the boy must fall.
Lift up your sword and spare these men of England who fight in your name. Do not forsake us. Do not forsake England.
We finish our list of shows with Knightfall, which was also made for the History Channel. Set in 1307, this is the story of the Knights Templar and their final days during the 14th century. While it may have issues with its historical accuracy, bear in mind this is a drama, not a documentary, so it is a great show with plenty of action, high production value and a really solid plot. Just enjoy it as an entertaining show and you'll be very pleased you watched it.
Christ, Master of the Temple. And find us the Grail.
I'll be Master, and I am not worthy to find the Grail.
Landry is not the Templar they think he is.
There is an army on French soil, loyal not to you, but to the Pope. This is defiance. By God, Landry, I cannot allow it.
And that, dear viewers, wraps up the 9 shows that we think you will love if you're a fan of Vikings. With plenty of period drama, great characters, huge fight scenes, battles and plot twists, there's a lot to love about our choices. But if you think we've forgotten any gems, then let us know in the comments. And as usual, don't forget to click that thumbs up and subscribe.